You have to wait. There we go.
Oh,
Now they might be able to hear us.
can you hear me? Can you hear a sound?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
We do.
Hi, Wendy.
Hey guys.
Hi, Gab.
Hey, Gavin. Good to see you again. We cannot hear you, Gavin.
Yeah, I'm absolutely speaking on mute.
Ah, okay.
It's a regular day. Hi.
Hi, Greenie.
Wow, wow, wow.
All right, so we're gonna start the live stream for this because we promised that we're gonna get off here in 45 minutes.
Let's see.
Oh, it started?
I don't know.
Interesting. Hold on.
I can't tell.
Oh, Mr.
I don't know if it's working or not.
I do not see anything from you yet.
I don't see it either.
Well, if it don't work like that, do you want to stop it? Oh, maybe now it's going.
We might have to restart. We'll see.
No. Okay, baby.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Well, we'll have a recording. So even if we can't get it live on Facebook, we can still
do it.
I told everybody we would do. Okay, I'm going to stop and I will get this working.
So this is like talk.
I could do that. Huh? You know, give the people what they came for.
I want to wait for us to actually get that piece going so that there's not a piece that's missed.
There's going to be a minute.
Okay. 1 minute. I mean, I was curious. Are you still in cornrows? I was trying to.
Yeah. My it's as watch me 2 time and I don't even know what to tell you.
A Canadian hairdresser, that's what you need.
Yeah, I mean I've done it since the last time we've spoken, so this is not, this is not the same set of cornrows.
Okay.
All right.
It's up and running now.
It's working.
All right. Oh, hi, Chevy.
Hi.
Okay, baby, let's go.
We're going.
Let
This is it.
us go.
So, you want to lead?
Maybe.
Okay.
All right. So, everybody on this is the persons I share the Zoom link with. So, hi guys. You know me already. This is my husband, Jeremy Hope.
Hello.
Yeah. No, we wanted to hop on here because this is kind of like a little assignment from God that we have been meaning to get to but haven't quite gotten there yet. And we decided that, you know what? Let's use two birds and one stone and kill two and kill two birds, which is essentially just share the story with a couple persons who have been asking us about it, and at the same time fulfill the assignment that we were given. Today happens to be our 2 months since we got married. We got married on February 15th. And here we are 2 months later, still surviving. Despite the fact that we got married very quickly. We met we started dating October 16th. And we were married by February
15th.
15th. Right. So how did we get here? I think I want to do a quick throwback to when this all started for me, and then I'll give Jeremy the opportunity to talk about when it got started for him. And then when we connect together and we push it forward from there. Sounds like a plan, right, babe?
That sounds good to me.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I think this journey started for me in December 15th of 2019. I was getting ready for the year ahead and putting down my goals for 2020. And in the middle of doing that, the Lord said to me, Shaniel, what about marriage?
Yeah.
And I remember I laughed like there was no tomorrow. Like, God, I don't even have marriage on my mind. Like, please. But he raised it again twice for me within the space of like a week. And I remember what he told me. I was like, all right, cool, dude. I'm going to listen. What you want to tell me? And he actually told me that, yeah, you're going to get married in a year. And I was like, God, stop the foolishness. I am not dating anybody. I have zero interest in marriage at that point. So the most I can agree with you on with that one is you will prepare me for marriage in a year. And so that was what I wrote down. And at the same time, he also gave me 7 characteristics that my husband would have. I wrote that down too, and then I left it. The beginning of 2024 came in, and I remember I turned to my friend and I said, I believe I can meet the man, fall in love, and get married within a year. She probably thought I was crazy, but I don't know. There was something different about 2024 that I kept saying it to like a whole bunch of different people, and they would look at me and be like, yo, Shaniel, if that happened, I had a friend tell me, Shaniel, if that happened for you, I am not so sure I believe in Jesus no more, but if that happened for you, I'm giving my life back to Christ. Right? She had to eat her words because it did happen, and it was a whole faith thing for her.
She didn't have to eat her words. She got to give her life back to Christ. It was the coolest thing possible.
To eat her words for like honey.
Oh.
Right? But
in a world where giving your life to Christ is eating your words, yes, that's what she had to do. Okay, good.
But so that's where that started for me. Throughout the year, I had a lot of growing up to do, a lot of things that the Lord was showing me about myself.
So much growing up to do.
A whole lot of growing up, yes,
So
baby.
much.
But a couple key instances. I remember March of last year, the Lord said, I was like, Jesus, I am believing for this thing. You've been telling me about this thing from 2019, and I am over it. It's either going to do something or I'm going to do something, right? And I remember he said to me, I was on vacation with my sister in Jamaica, and he said to me, Shaniel, I have sent so many eligible men to you, and you are the problem, you ain't them. And he said to me, you are praying for love, but you are not ready to love again. And it was kind of like that was like the wake up call for me, like, all right, Lord, you have to show me what that means, because here I am having this vision that you have given me around what my husband is supposed to be like. I am praying and I'm believing around that. I'm allowing you to work within me, and you're telling me after all of that, the work there.
This is what she settled for.
But he literally, that was a big thing for me. And next big point was in September of last year. One morning in August he said to me, time to rip up your list. And I was just like, rip up my list. He said, yes, the vision that you've had around your husband, you have made an idol of it. to the point where even though I'm sending men to you, you're not like, you're looking for the one little thing that's not on the list, that he doesn't meet that criteria on the list. I'm being like, yep, you're not it. Bye. He's like, rip it up. And I remember I submitted that to him again. And I think the final big piece of submission and like surrender around this happened in September. I was I was there one Saturday morning. I woke and the Lord said to me, I said, Lord, what do you want me to do today? And he said to me, come spend some time with me. And I remember I looked at the long list of stuff I had to do, and I'm like, all right, Jesus. And I went and I sat with him, and it was one of the most blessed mornings I've ever had in my life, just sitting there and communing with the Lord. And in the process of communing with him, I remember he said to me, September is your last month single. I'm like, I know I did not say that to myself, Jesus. I'm gonna write this down. I don't know how you're gonna do it because I'm not dating anybody. I have not been dating anybody for almost 2 years. And even though I'm believing for the husband and everything, I could not see how that's gonna happen. But I'm like, all right, cool. If he says so, we'll see. And a month later, less than a month later,
Yeah.
that's where I am pulling up so that you can take over, sweetie.
Okay. So mine started in 2012, though I didn't realize it started that far back. I found a Google Doc from 2012, with kind of a here's what I'm praying for, here's what I'm hoping for. And I never felt comfortable detailing what I wanted in a wife. It felt far too shallow, Hal, for lack of a better term. Um, and it's not even just not about the physical stuff. It was just like I never felt like I had the right to, like, she exists. She's a person. It's not like I'm manifesting her out of thin air or something like that. And I probably 3 years ago, I became very comfortable figuring out and writing down what I wanted in our relationship. Like, that's something we build together. So that's something that I feel very comfortable crafting on paper, like making a plan for. And it, I would write things down and, due to ADHD and terrible organization and hoarding bad habits, which Tavius is laughing because he's seen the inside of those from working with me before, that that's I forgot all about it. So there's um, the knowledge of some of the things that I've wanted go back a long way, and it was such an interesting gift to see that God has set aside everything in every journal entry, in every random Google Doc spread across my Google Drive somewhere. Um, Everything is like, if he were a box ticking God, he would have ticked all the boxes, And it, my love language is lists, not well administered ones, but lists nonetheless. So he spoke to me through lists in some ways. So Shaniela and I knew each other through a mutual acquaintance, Amanda, and she had interviewed me on her podcast or her Facebook live show, and she ran I think a Facebook group for maybe 1,000 or 3,000 people for small Christian entrepreneurs. Um, and she did a networking event 2.5 years ago where Shanielle and I met, and Shanielle and I had stayed in touch ever since then, on and off, just catching up every month or 3 months. And in our September 9th Zoom call from 2024, I had been doing this forge process that I'm now selling. And oh, there's the marketing angle, Tavius. You asked us if it was a marketing thing. There we go. We could join the forge, find your wife. It worked for me. um,
Find your
or
husband.
find your husband. Yeah, she wasn't in it, but something worked for her. Who knows? So
What was that vision thing, actually?
yeah, it
The
was the
Lord is
vision.
like, write the vision down
It,
for that.
it comes back to vision for her as well. That's true. That's true. But I was writing my vision in like 7 different visions daily. And after about a month and a half or 2 months, it started to finally get through my thick skull that if I've got a couple of visions of what success looks like, and 2 of them are my wife and I, and both of those are 2027, I got to get a move on. I don't have a lot of time to start meeting the people that know the people. My friend Monica Bozanov, who's, I guess she's about 70, 65, 60, something like that. Oh, I really went in the wrong direction there.
Yeah,
Okay,
you see?
so anyway,
Just
but
pull it up.
she's 58. There we go. That's my friend Monica. And she's a wonderful Christian lady who's been married 29 years to her wonderful Christian husband, and they keep Christ central to their marriage. And she encouraged me to do a different kind of vision exercise that we call the letter to Amy, just like a stand-in name. And it was writing a letter from my 2027 self back to the 2024 whoever my wife, whatever her name really was. And so I wrote that, and it did help me like imagine the next 3 years together and just kind of understand what I wanted in the next 3 years. And so that was a pretty wonderful exercise. But I had like 2 or 3 different vision things going on, I guess is the point. And so when Chanel asked at the end of our Zoom call, how can I support you? Which is a pretty typical question for her in networking type calls. I said, well, you could introduce me to this kind of podcaster or that kind of business owner. And then I realized while I was waiting for my next call, I just DM'd her on Facebook. You know what? If you know any cool Christian ladies who are maybe burned out from corporate and want to go home and raise kids, I'd be interested. And her response was very direct. Aside from no longer being burnt out from corporate, that sounds like me. And I said, oh my. And she said, oh my indeed. And I sent her George Takei with, oh my. And then, I don't think it'll work, honey.
Mhm.
And then we just left it. And then Helene happened. And then we came back and started talking around the middle of October and just exploring. In the meantime, I had prayed
I can tell you,
the
it
day
was October 16th. And
16th.
why I
That was the
remember,
first day we started talking again.
yeah,
Okay.
I, why I remember that is because I tell you, there's a lot of vision thing going on now that I think about it, because I had since December 15th, 2019, when the Lord told me about marriage and gave me that vision for my husband, I had put it on my calendar every single month on the 15th to
Mm,
remember the vision that God gave
mm,
you about this man. Right. And so I remember October 15th, I was there and the Lord told me to go for a walk. Um, and it was like it was probably heading towards 10 o'clock in the night. I'm like, got up all the time. And on the walk, he said to me, things are going to change tomorrow. And I honestly wasn't
wow.
thinking about
I'd forgotten that part.
that,
Mhm.
right? I was thinking more along the lines of, Lord, there's some other things that I've been praying and I've been waiting for you around and so forth. And so it was like kind of really cool to look back to my
Mm,
journal and realize, oh, that was happening at that time. And that's what he was talking about. Pick up again.
yeah, that's cool.
Hmm.
Uh, so I was praying in the meantime. I don't want to mess up our relationship. Um, I don't want to hurt her. She's a friend, and what if I do something and mess everything up?
Mhm.
But at the same time, I mean, that sounds like me. Oh my, indeed. That's about as clear of a flirtatious offer as you can get. So I was like, I gotta respect that directness, you know? I can't I can't just ignore it and hope it goes away or anything like that. She's awfully cute. I haven't thought about her like that before, but should I? All right. Well, so I started praying, and God quickly said, "Do you trust me?" And as soon as I said yes, I realized I also trust me to be kind. At the time, I trusted me to be kind. I have I've learned a lot more about myself since we got married. um, it's well, it's a lot of work. Oh boy. They talk about iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. Well, women sharpen men too. And so it's we've prayed for growth, and God has given us growth, and it's been wonderful. And he pushes us to the limits of our stretch, but he does not strain us, and we're very grateful for that. But we're growing very fast together, and it's been wonderful. So I trusted me to be kind at the time, and I trusted her to, to know her own boundaries and to just to know what she's doing. She wrote a literal book on boundaries and many other things, but you're fighting and living from your God-given talent and stopping people pleasing and that kind of thing. So she's not going to say something just out of a people pleasing behavior, not with the book right out there on Amazon for everybody to see. So I um I just started talking to her a lot, and then 3 days in, we were courting. Uh, we kind of skipped the dating phase, I guess, because we went straight to like all the big questions. Because we just didn't care about anything if there wasn't the potential for a future, and we just felt total peace and excitement at the same time, which is a fun combo. Um, so after a couple of weeks of just Zoom dating and like scheduling date nights on Zoom. We actually both dressed up for our first Zoom date night to show up on camera. It was the dorkiest thing ever. But when she showed up in a dress, I was like, "Oh, I am so glad. I am so glad I had that joke in mind because I would have looked like a jerk if she had been the only one dressed up." So it worked out. But after a couple of weeks, I mentioned kind of where my headspace was to her, and that I just really respected her direct communication and that she was willing to take that kind of a risk. I mean, that's risky for a guy, much less a girl, to like to be that direct. Um, and her response was a blank stare and a what? She had no idea she was flirting. She had that was not her intention to flirt. Um, she was just thinking out loud in the Facebook chat. Oh, that sounds kind of like me. Okay. And so God kind of smacked us with each other upside the face. Neither of us had noticed each other in that way. And I noticed her, turns out, a month before she noticed me, and I thought that we were like on the same page from the very beginning. And I think that's a big part of our maturity journey that we'll tell in 5 or 10 years. Just that how much miscommunication has come from thinking that we knew what the other one meant. But I mean, that was a from the beginning kind of thing as well. And that's been, there's been so much just joyous acceptance and peace that I've had from her, like every time we figure out, oh, no, we weren't on the same page, but we can be, and here's what the same page looks like, and everything's fine. And we both love that. Hey, Dad. Um,
You just point the
there's
camera
Dad
at.
going in. Yep. He just got home. We're down at the house right now visiting them. Um, so yeah.
I was thinking about the next part as Like, okay, so that's our courtship up to a point. I think we started dating and then like courting by late October. And by I think early November, we were talking about me
When
coming
do you
to the
come up?
States,
Yeah,
right? And so I flew to the States.
the 21st to Charlotte,
Mm-hmm.
and then stayed with Natalie for a week over Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And then on my way back up from Barwick for my annual Christmas trip down here, I picked her up from Charlotte and
I
took her to
got in a
Asheville.
strange man's car.
Very strange.
You know,
Still finding out how strange.
it's like I'm going, and they keep telling me that you're strange, and I agree,
Yep,
right?
I can do nothing but agree as well. Yeah.
But I'm thinking there are like two backstories I want to tell before we even talk about like our engagement.
It's 6:26, honey.
Oh, let's do this.
We better
We
talk
can do this
fast.
live.
All right.
But so in August of last year, I went on a cruise, and I remember on the cruise, they were doing
Mhm.
this whole thing around diamonds promotion, and I went to one of the workshops with one of my friends, and while at that workshop, I found they were talking about this Tanzanite diamond. And they shared the story that the Tanzanite diamonds is one of the last diamonds to be discovered in the world. Um, and that the story of how it was discovered was essentially a group of kids. Kids would play with it like it was nothing in the Kilimanjaro mountains, and an expert came upon kids playing, and it was like, oh my God, that's diamond right there, right? And I remember hearing
It wasn't diamonds. Tanzanite is a precious gem far rarer than diamonds.
high five.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my special Google right there. Right. But um I heard the story, and it stuck with me because I was just like, the a thing can be valuable, but in the wrong hands, the value is not seen. And in the right hands, it's like it's worth so much. And I remember in that class, I burst out, oh my God, I found my stone. And I'm like, yep, to the point where I went to look at it at the jewelers on the cruise, and decided, my husband's gonna buy that for me. Like, I'm not even going to try and figure out how am I going to purchase it. I'm gonna let my husband buy it. And I said it to the jeweler, and he looked at me like, what? Your husband's on the cruise with you or something? And my friend turned to me and she's like, Shaniel, you talk about husband come buy it for you. You're not even dating anybody. And I'm just like, don't worry about that. Right? But I believe it. I'm like, of course, worse because part of the story was that there were only 3 mines in the world and one had just closed down. And I said, well, he gonna have to come soon because with only 2 mines left in the world, we can't afford to let it close down and I don't get my Tanzanite diamond. What did you get me, honey?
Hmm?
What did you get me for our engagement gift?
She did not want a ring for her engagement gift. She wanted a token. She called it a token so many times. Like, what does, oh boy, I hope I know what token means. So, I knew I wasn't getting her a ring. She wanted something else. But I thought, well, I want something special and symbolic, but I'd like her to have some kind of jewelry as well. And so I ended up getting her these earrings. So lean in.
So it's like
lean into
suckers
the-
if you were looking in my ears.
Here, maybe it's easier if I pick up the laptop. No, we don't. We're not even beginning. It's hardly.
Yeah, we'll send a picture of it. We'll add a picture of it to this somewhere in there. But it was literally, this was like what, early January? I do not remember when our engagement date is.
January 6th.
He is better with the dates than I am. But January 6th,
Hmm.
man, I think I've forgotten that part of the story, baby. Um,
That was when I gave you the earrings. That was when we were fully engaged to be partially married because the other engagement gift had not yet arrived. Yeah. And Jody Russell was the first person to hear about it.
really?
Really, really.
So
Yeah.
how I haven't met Jody. Hi, Jody. We have to meet and close that loop.
I'm so excited you're here. We have to make time. I am so, so excited. This is so much fun to listen to. But
Do you want to come over for wait, no. I don't know. Mom and Dad were talking about like a worship night or something like that with the Fletchers and folks like that.
oh, wouldn't that be so sweet? We'll talk. We'll talk.
Okay.
We'll see what
Okay.
time frame
Yeah.
is.
But
So yeah, the earrings, she likes the earrings, so we got engaged. And then the other piece of it was a it was a globe with 1 John 4:19 inscribed on it. We love because he loved us first. And the globe is a magnetic jigsaw puzzle, which she loves and I hate. I don't like jigsaw puzzles, but I like sculpture things and I love Legos. And I was just thinking that we have world-spanning friendships. We want to travel together. We want to build an empire together, or a colony of the kingdom, as Miles Monroe calls it. And we have so many puzzle pieces to put together. So it was something we could build together. And of course, she's very attractive, so the magnets work. And I got her Flamingo inscribed on it as well. And it was super cool. So that came, what, a week or two later? I don't remember the date on that one. I think that was around January 15th or January 20th, something like that. And so
yeah.
then we were fully engaged to be fully married at that point. So at that point, I was mostly safe. Then I just had to maintain the con until February 15th. I just had to keep up the facade for that much longer until she said I do,
But
and then I was good to go.
but then the
Hmm.
thing is, you didn't know I was conning you.
I still don't. She's playing the long game. I haven't seen what the con is yet.
It was like, yeah, but we decided to get married probably a little over a week before we actually got married.
Mhm.
Um don't ask me the dates because I don't remember. It was just like, honey, what do you think about getting married XYZ?
I think it was on the 6th because we promised Jordy and maybe Natalie we'd give them at
At
least
least
a
a
week of
week.
notice so that they could get there if if they um if they had the chance.
Yep. And then
So
we pulled it off in that in the ceremony that you guys saw. That was so much fun.
yep,
And that's
that's how
the
we got married.
essence of our story. There are a lot of little stories in there that just shows God's hand and God's faithfulness and God's intentionality. And I mean, God knowing way better than either one of us what we both need.
Yeah.
And seeing even when you submit something to Him, like the same thing you were talking about with your list, I recognize afterwards that when I tell you the list that God told me to rip up, when I went back and I checked that list after we started
Yeah,
courting,
she
it
read that
was
to me.
like,
Hmm.
holy moly, every single thing
On the old list, the ripped up list.
on the old list was
Mhm.
like, yep, you got that too. I look on the list that he gave me in December 15th, the 7 items, December 15, 2019, every single item. I'm like, yo, God, you do all things well. Way better than I could have ever done it.
I asked her if she still had the old list, like if ripping it up was metaphorical or if it was just like mentally ripping it up, and it was cool that she still had it. And I asked her, like, would it be fun to look at that together? And I was a little trepidatious about like seeing that list, but luckily there is no like six-pack abs on the list, so I was okay.
You mean you don't have a six-pack ab? What did I get into?
Okay. We're on camera, honey. So, that's it, everything that God was so abundant with us. He didn't just kind of barely scrape by and just okay, well, this is what you asked for, so I'm going to give you the evil genie version of your
A
request.
piece of it.
Yeah, it was. uh, I think this is what will keep you satisfied and keep you coming back to me and keep you barely a Christian. No, that's not how he operates, and that's what we've learned to trust him about. He wants the best for us, and neither of us are prosperity gospel people, but boy, we feel awfully prosperous together
Jesus
with
did well.
with this. And yeah, he likes to give really good blessings.
Yeah, he did good. You know, I woke this morning, and the piece of scripture that was in my head is from Saint Matthew, around,
In your head?
yeah, it was in my head,
It was on your head?
honey.
The daily scripture on your phone.
No, it wasn't the daily
That
scripture.
wasn't it? Okay.
We're so scandalous.
She's looking down at it. I'm like, is that the one?
And I'm gonna put it up, right? Um, but is a scripture that talks about which earthly father, when son asks him
Oh
for
yeah.
bread, turns and gives the child stone and da, da, da. And the piece that wraps it all up is that, yeah, if earthly fathers know how to give good gifts, how much more does your heavenly Father who
Who is
loves
good.
you and who's
Yeah.
good? Like, and I was like, yeah, Jesus, you're right on that. Yes, Father, you're right on that one there. Like, yeah, like whatever He has promised you,
Yeah.
just hold on, man. He gonna set you up real good and proper.
So
So that's us.
that's us. Anything you want to know about having a successful marriage? Please
Ask
do not
us.
ask us. Yep. We have no idea. But we know how to get God to trick someone really cool into marrying you. So, and to keep him happy afterwards. So that's all we got.
And
Um,
that's us.
let's see.
Thoughts, comments, questions. We've got,
Y'all can unmute yourselves now if you want to.
I don't know how we have to get off here by 6.
Whenever mom calls
45.
us for dinner, that's when
Yes.
we have to leave. Yeah. So, thank you for your congratulations. We're very happy.
So happy for you guys. So excited about what the Lord's done. And just thank you for taking time to share your story. I'm just so thankful for just the testimony and the waiting and the faithfulness of the Lord in that, and that we get to hear it. So I love it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
you.
I have a feeling we'll be telling this testimony for a long time.
That's why we're recording it and dropping it on YouTube. Start sharing the link.
It's awesome. Love you.
Thank you. Love you too.
Yeah, man. I just caught wind of this, like on your Facebook. So this is awesome. It was good to come in here and listen to you guys' story. So congratulations again. I'm definitely praying for long and fruitful marriage in the way that y'all are doing it. I see all smiles and happiness. So that's awesome, man. You know, Jeremy, I've known you for a while. We've talked about a lot of different things.
Yeah.
This is one thing we've never really broached, you know what I mean, in relationships and things like that. But one time when we were at like some club or something with Taylor and them way back. But
Oh, sitting on the lip couch in Nashville.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That
like,
club. That was the weirdest place. Yep.
yeah, and I just remember you saying one day, like, you know, whenever I get out of this, you know, I'll then find, you know, what I'm
Yep.
looking for. And that was like the only time we had ever talked about it. And
Yeah.
so to see like now it's all come together is awesome, man. So congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? We're about to turn into a pumpkin.
I kind of stay a pumpkin.
Thank you.
sometimes.
Thank you, Wendy.
She doesn't, I do the pumpkin part. She doesn't have the coloration for it. I can do pumpkin if I get just a little too much sun. I make a really good pumpkin. I've already got the creases. They just run the wrong direction. Yeah.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
All right. I think.
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody.
Mhm.
It's good to see you all again. Love y'all.
Congrats again, you two.
Thank you.
Assignment done.
Huh?
Our assignment is finished, baby. We just need to go upload it to YouTube now, and we can say Jesus. No stuff about it. No.
What could go wrong now? What could go wrong? Yeah. Don't jinx it. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye, Gavin. Good to see you again. Bye, Chantal.
Bye, Chef.